Okay. Hi there, here's a couple of things to look at when we're looking at, one thing would be gait analysis and how we're using the back leg. So when I step out, the back leg can be straight, like that, and you'll feel the muscle in the front of the thigh working a little bit there as I keep that back leg straight, and then I've got my glute working as well, like that. There, and then I've got the roll of the back toe. So I've got that little awareness of how to kind of flex and roll with the back leg straight. So that's a good way of just getting that into the movement pattern. So there's the opposite way, that way. So stretch out that way with that back leg straight. If you find sometimes that you're not sure if the back leg is straight, without going into the back of the knee, but you can just stay in that lunge position and then just lengthen the leg, lengthen, reaching the heel, reaching that heel down, then traveling through that way, and then feed that back in then when walking. Just bringing that into a couple of steps that way. The other one is feet are hip distance apart, and then I lean, let's say I'm leaning on the outside of the right foot. I let the hip go out a little bit, get a little stretch there on the outside of the hip, and I come back into the center, and then I go out the other way. So when I travel out to the left side, I'm leaning on the outside of the left foot, and then I'm leaning on the inside of the right foot. So it's opposite. So I've got the outside of the right, inside of the left, outside of the left, inside of the right. That way the knees can be slightly bent on that as well. And then what you can do is, it's kind of like that one where imagine you're standing on a towel and you're just pulling your toes in towards you. That's just to kind of bring awareness to the muscles and the arches of the feet. That can be tricky. That's a kind of a balance task of sorts, as well as bringing awareness to the arches of the feet. So if you feel that you need to hold on to something when you're doing that, that's fine. But the point then to that is bringing that arch awareness and then trying to bring the feet in, feet out, feet in, feet out. It's separating the toes there. Then coming up into the pointed feet and then into heel raises, and then feeling that you've got anchoring to the knuckle of the big toe across to the little toe, so all across the metatarsals, that way. And then you can use your abs to help you there. So you can breathe into the ribs and then draw up and pull in and lift. Again, you could be holding on to something on this. They're quite good. And then back. And then back. And then a balance one. I'll actually get away with it here. So this is a good one. So I only use the wall just to keep me upright, right? So, and then I lift one leg and back. So my hip is directly over the foot of the leg that's staying on the floor. And then I like to think about the tripod of support here. So it's the big toe, little toe, flat at the heel. The hand is just there, like that. So in balance then, if I didn't have the hand, it just stops you from giving way at the hip, and more to the point that it allows me to keep the connection between the knuckle of the big toe and the inner thigh of the leg that's staying behind, with the pelvis and the ribs level, like that, and then back. And then this is just light then. I'm light on the touch then, where I can feel that I start to get connected in through the lateral line, through both sides of the outside of the body, the waist on the sides, and the ribs, the pelvis. Yeah? So that's good. And you can do that on both sides. You can turn around and do it the other way, or you could use the other side of a wall. You can see the way I kind of don't quite get that the same there if I'm holding on the same side. So if I was holding on the other side like that, We've got that opposite forces there, so opposite hip, opposite hand, that way. That's more as a kind of stability. That's not necessarily bringing, then we bring it into balance then later, where you're kind of challenging whether it's eyes closed or eyes open, that kind of stuff. That brings it more into balance. This one here is more laying down kind of body awareness, strength and stability, or if it was that way. Yeah. Yeah. So there are a few, there are a couple of things to kind of just start with, even that kind of roll, front, back, front, back, front and back. There are kind of a couple of, so that outward motion, the gait with the leg, that's quite good there. This just gets that glute and then feeding that into walking gait. Yeah. All right. So that's enough to start with, I think. All right. I hope they're of help and we can elaborate on those. Thanks for watching.